What do I think about the First Descendant? It has been out for about 2 weeks now. I did some gaming and let's find out. So what is the First Descendant? It is a shooter-looter type game and even like an adventurous kind of game. If you have ever played Warframe or even seen it, it is going to be quite similar to that. And we'll talk about similarities in just a moment. First, this game is completely free, which means you can go to any platform, download it for free, and start playing it. Like, I always enjoy a free game. So, if you do download it, this game basically offers these characters that are called Descendants. There are a ton of them. And that's where similarities of Warframe come in, because you may notice that some of these characters have an ultimate version, which I know Warframe has a similar aspect to that. But of course, you have to grind the ultimate versions. When you're actually getting into the game, you get to choose one of the 3 characters that they offer to start out with. I actually chose her. She does a lot of freezing stuff and freezing enemies. I thought that sounded fun. The other person has to do with a lot of grenades, and another character has to do with a lot of like bubbles and shields. Don't overthink your choices too much, just because eventually you'll be able to unlock more characters. There is a bit of a limit though. From what I know, you can only have 10 Descendants unlocked, and if you wanted to do more, you're gonna have to pay. But we're gonna talk about the in-game store a little bit later on. First, the storyline. I have been playing for over 20 hours and I am still doing the storyline, which means there's actually a lot of content. The storyline offers an entire story, of course, along with talking scenes, cutscenes, which are actually one of my favorite in any type of game, and a lot of grinding. Maybe you have heard that a lot of people have been saying it feels kind of repetitive to do the storyline. In a way, I can see what they're saying, but in a way, I feel like not exactly. When you're doing the storyline, for example, you can look at this entire map and there's different like areas that you can unlock. I kind of call them different biomes because every area looks different. And in these areas, you basically have to complete these patrol missions in order to progress your campaign. Now, these patrol missions make you kill enemies and a boss, or collect stuff from the ground and things like that, or carry something from A to B. And I can see where people are saying it feels repetitive. However, I've been noticing that most of the time in every area, something small changes. Like when I'm collecting the orbs the first time, it involves a lot of jumping. After a while, I had to do it again, and it involved a lot of grappling, almost like it's trying to get me into practicing things that I may not use as often. So yes, it might use the same missions here and there, but they change slightly, and also the enemies and the surroundings and everything changes as well depending on which area you're in. Now, I'm not going to spoil the storyline for you, but I will say it gets quite good. They do have cutscenes in there, and I love cutscenes in any game because it's like a mini movie, and their cutscenes have been pretty good and interesting. Their story has also been pretty interesting. There is a couple of times where there's a lot of talking that you need to listen to, but all of these characters look super freaking good, so I don't mind talking to any of them. This storyline will definitely give you cliffhangers and probably twists and turns that you may have not been expecting, because that happened to me. There's stuff happened that I was not expecting, and it was actually very good. But enough about the storyline and more to the end game. The end game is where everybody really wants to get to like ASAP, because it's the best part of the game. It involves a lot of grinding. Like, I'm sorry, you're probably not gonna see the outside of your house for a very long time. In the endgame, you're gonna be able to unlock other Descendants, ultimate versions of Descendants, create builds where you're only using abilities and not even touching your weapons because your builds are that overpowered. There's times where you can defeat bosses within like 2 seconds because of how powerful you are. I mean, who wouldn't want to have that? But don't worry, even if you get to this point where you are that overpowered, you will have bosses at your own level that are supposed to be very freaking hard. So how do you unlock Descendants? You actually have to build them with items that you earn or grind for. If you go to this shop, you are actually able to see all the items that you need in order to build a Descendant, which is actually another similarity to Warframe. And if you end up missing some of the items, you're gonna have to grind for them by doing certain missions, certain bosses, and things like that. However, a lot of these items have a certain percentage of a drop chance, and a lot of people have grinded hours and hours at a time to get a drop, or maybe even not, that is only 5% chance. Now, don't get me wrong, not every item has a 5% drop chance, it's only a couple. Some have a higher chance, some even may have a lower chance. Some people get lucky, some people may get lucky with other items. And whenever you have all the items, you can go and build the Descendant. Now, building the Descendant might still have you waiting for like another day or even two, because it's going to take some time in order to get the Descendant built. And that is how you unlock Descendants. Now, one thing I didn't really go over is weapons, perks, and things like that. I am not the best person to talk about perks and what's good, but I will tell you exactly how it works. So as you're going through the storyline, or if you're already in Endgame, you basically get a variety of weapons, hand cannons, shotguns, sniper rifles, things like that you can choose from. You can always hold up to 3 weapons that you can always rotate through when you're playing the game. One thing to note is when you're looking at these weapons, each of them have a different ammo icon with different colors. That is the type of ammo that this weapon takes. It is always good to have one of each ammo type in your weapon slots, because the ammo is shared throughout each of the weapons. So if you are using 2 weapons with the green ammo icon, it is literally shared ammo. So if you use 10 bullets in one weapon, the 10 bullets are also going to disappear in the other weapon, if that makes sense. Their perks are pretty straightforward, like extra HP, extra shields, things like that, extra cooldowns for abilities. However, I still suck at them. It's just who I am. Doesn't matter what game, I suck at perks. They have this really cool option where you can press on. It is recommended perks, basically. You press on that and the game automatically looks through all the perks that you own and gives you the recommended selection that it thinks would be good for your weapon. I use that the entire time just because I'm not really sure what exactly is good yet. Now let's talk about the things not a lot of people are happy with. Microtransactions. Now I know the word alone may already have people turning away, but hear me out. This game offers a season pass, which a lot of games do nowadays. And it also offers a store where you can buy a lot of cool looking skins. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty good looking. Where you can buy skins, you can buy backpacks, which the backpacks are one of my weaknesses because they are cute, adorable animals like this polar bear one, this panda one, and the hamster one that you get from the season pass. They're really adorable. But let's skip to this where you can technically buy Descendants. If you didn't want to go through all the grinding and just want to instantly have a Descendant unlocked, you could technically buy it if you wanted to. Now, it's not exactly cheap. For example, if you want to buy an ultimate character, it's going to be $100. Which I know, not cheap. There are a lot of resources in this game too that you get from certain missions, certain bosses that you play over and over again, certain areas that you can also technically buy if you wanted to and didn't want to go through grinding. And I know not a lot of people are happy with all the microtransactions you could do in this game, but if you really don't want to do any, just stay away from it. Sure, it's nice to skip the line, skip the grinding, and buy a Descendant and have it unlocked immediately, but if you just did not want to deal with that, just grind it. There is a way for you to grind it. It's not like it's impossible. Sure, it's gonna take a while, but at least it has us busy for a while. I feel like as a person who plays video games, I don't sometimes like to have things done super fast. It's really fun to really put some work into it, grind it out, and you could do the same. I don't judge anyone if they bought something, if they didn't bought something. You play in your own style that you want to play in, and I will play mine. And honestly, I am really freaking happy that this game is completely free. Sure, you can have the options to buying things, but if you really don't want to, you have the option to just grind everything. And this game offers a lot. For it to be a free game, it offers a lot. It has the campaign, it has a lot of grinding for a lot of Descendants, weapons, things like that. There's apparently a bunch of secrets in here, like secret missions and things like that, that I had no idea about until recently. So do I think it's worth it? Yes, I do. For it to be a free game, I think it is very well worth it. There's a lot of options, a lot of gaming, a lot of grinding that this game offers, and you don't even have to pay anything if you don't want to. There's an option for you if you want to, but you don't have to. The developers have already announced that there's going to be a new Descendant coming out in the future. Her name is Luna. We don't really know too much about her, but it's cool to see that after this game being out for 2 weeks, they already showed us and told us plans that they're adding to the game. I think that's amazing. And I believe that pretty much covered most of the game. There are still a lot of little things here and there that I didn't mention, but you'll probably find out when you're playing it yourself. I really hope this video has helped you decide if you want to play the game or not. Like I said, it's free, so the least you can do is give it a try if you're really intrigued by it. Now, I'm going to go and play some more of the First Descendant because I'm having a blast with it and I really want to finish the storyline. So thank you so much for coming in and watching. Please leave a like if it was helpful and if you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down below, and I will either see you in my future live stream on Twitch or in another video. Bye!